Good evening, everybody. I'm Eric Feil of Richner Communications, and I am thrilled to welcome you here tonight to the Herald Inside LI webinar produced by Richner Communications. Tonight, it is Living 50 Plus, Health, Wealth, Self. This is presented by AARP Long Island. And what's more important than our health, our wealth, and all about ourself? Tonight, we're going to focus on that first part. It is about nutrition. It's about eating well. We have an incredible amount of guests with us here tonight. It is my pleasure to introduce to you nutritionist extraordinaire. She's going to talk to us about the importance of eating well, why our fruits and vegetables and plant-based eating is not only to make us feel better, but actually make us healthier. That is our special guest, Farnaz Fahimi. Welcome, Farnaz. Thank you so much. We also have a chef, a personal chef, a producer, the host of Cooking with Stars, Chef Paula Gottlieb Herman. And to give us our welcoming remarks, again, to kick us off, I'm so excited about this. Clearly, I love to eat. Plant-based diet's a big part of my life here over the last year, but we want to really get more into it, let everybody out there learn. We have Bernard Macias, the Associate State Director, Long Island, AARP New York. Bernard.
Thank you, Eric. Greeting, everyone. On behalf of AARP New York, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's first webinar. Again, my name is Bernard Macias. I am the Associate State Director for AARP right here on Long Island, specifically working for community outreach and engagement. And I serve close to 500,000 members right here across Nassau and Suffolk counties. Nationwide, AARP has 38 million members, but 2.5 million of those members live right here in New York State. Just a little bit about AARP, more about the organization. AARP is the nation's largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering Americans 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. And we work to strengthen our communities and advocate for what matters most to families with a focus on health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. So if you're going to remember anything about AARP, we're all about, like Eric said, health, wealth, and self. And that's why AARP Long Island and Herald Inside LI is so proud to present this three-part webinar series. So for health tonight, as Eric said, we have a wonderful program for you, a real 101 on eating well and fruits and veggies. And we have a live cooking segment. And then in September, we'll have our wealth program. We'll talk more about that later on tonight. And then we have our self program in October. So we got a lot in store for you. Please tell your family, your friends to sign up, to register with us. You can see that these webinars will cover a large range of topics. So again, I want to thank you for joining tonight's webinar. Again, we're supporting our communities throughout the state with opportunities to connect without ever leaving your home, right? So we're in this virtual world with you, and we're offering many ways to keep you and your families engaged and informed online. For instance, did you know that the younger you are, the more you need AARP? That's why we're here tonight, right? I mean, everything that we're talking about health, doesn't matter if you're 50 and older, actually you should probably start eating your fruits and veggies a lot sooner, a lot younger. So connect with us, please connect with us with AARP Long Island. You can do so by visiting us on our website, aarp.org/near-you, to learn more about at-home activities and classes and wellness programs and a lot of other events. We have a ton of virtual volunteer opportunities for you as well. Or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/AARP Long Island. So make sure you write that out, AARP Long Island, and look us up on Facebook as well. Eric, right back to you and this wonderful program.
Thank you so much, Bernard. You know, it's very funny. We've been talking about the fact that from the day that we can first remember talking about food, our parents told us, you have to eat your fruits and veggies. Well, now Bernard told you, and I've mentioned it, but I think once you hear our first guest talk about why the fruits and veggies, that's going to be what hits it. That's really going to kind of bring that message home. Farnaz, this is such a great, great moment now. You and I have talked a lot over the last few weeks about the importance of fruits and veggies and all the benefits they bring. How did you first, though, get involved? Tell us a little bit about yourself becoming this expert in studying food science and nutrition.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Bernard and AARP. It's such an honor and my pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm so excited to share some information, how we can eat healthy and have a happy, healthy lifestyle. So I have been always fascinated with, since my childhood, with the good food and organic food and health and nutrition. And my first bachelor degree was the food science, engineering from Iran. Then I moved to United States to learn more about the food and nutrition. And I received my second bachelor degree in nutrition science and my master degree as well. I'm the clinical nutritionist based on New York City, and I'm so happy to be here tonight.
So here in America, we don't eat that well overall, I think. We try, we know it's important to do, but can you really talk to us about the idea of adding more plant-based meals, the fruits, the veggies? What's wrong with the way so much of us are eating here?
Absolutely. What if I tell you we can change the planet throughout our food choices? The healing properties of the food that is coming from the history 2,500 years ago that Hippocrates said, let food be your medicine. And then let's go back to the American diet. What is American diet? The standard American diet that now is well known for the SAD diet because it promotes chronic diseases and weakens immune system. But why? Because as you see, it's mostly processed food and very a small portion of the fruits and veggies and the wholesome food, and 30% mostly animal products. Like, for example, if we're gonna eat a cheeseburger, the 520 calories that we're gonna have with the one small cheeseburger, and then we have to work like more than an hour to just burn that calories. How about the soda? A soda that is like 200 calories, more than 16 spoons of sugar, and then you have to spend more than 43 minutes of the walking, or you go to the gym. Do we really have all this time with the New York City, rush lifestyle?
Well, it's amazing.
What do you think, Eric?
Exactly. I've heard people say, I don't have time to eat well. I don't have time to shop. I don't have time to cook well. But if you look at this time, wouldn't I rather spend an hour and a half cooking an incredible healthful meal than trying to walk off a bacon cheeseburger? I mean, as tasty as that may be, the time is not well invested. I mean, I think that really is part of the life-changing experience. I think when people hear the term diet, a plant-based diet, they think that it's a sort of crash. I'm going to do this for a few weeks. What we're really talking about is a lifestyle change, right? Really incorporating it into your day-to-day living.
Absolutely. I have a solution tonight. Do you want to improve your health? Do you want to feel better? How about less medication? Do you want to lose weight? So the answer is the power of the plant-based diet. That did you know by eating fruits and vegetables, you can help your body to detox, promote the weight loss and better workout results without any restriction. Forget about calorie counting, less stress. How that sounds to you?
Listen, if I don't have to count calories, if I don't have to count anything, I'm all good. Really what, again, it is about making it part of my day-to-day life. And you talk about the idea of using it for our health, hopefully eliminating the need for medicine. In cancer particular, fruits, vegetables, can you talk about some of the properties that really help us fight that disease that has been so troubling, obviously, for history, through generations. And now we're starting to discover more and more the power of fruits and vegetables to help combat it, right?
Absolutely. It's becoming more accepted that plant-based nutrition contributes to our health. We can must or think more deeply about the decisions. Why is important? Whether you want to improve your health or health of the loved one, boost your immune system, and investing in proven knowledge and provide the proven benefit. There are so many reasons behind of that. There are so many research and studies from the Yale University, from Mayo Clinic, from the American Heart Association, from the Institution of the Cancer Society, that fruits and vegetables, it reduces the risk of cancer. The person that with high intake of fruits and vegetables have a half risk, less than 50% of the cancer compared with those who low intake of the fruits and vegetables. But which cancers? Breast cancer, the colon cancer, the prostate cancer, the esophagus, and the list goes on.
And it's not just cancer, of course. I mean, can you tell us a little bit about heart health? Also about detox. I mean, there are so many reasons, right, to choose a plant-based diet.
That is true. Why people, they choose the plant-based diet? Because they want to prevent cancer, because of the heart healthy diet, because they can manage the diabetes prevention. There are so many studies that has been proved that they can improve the health, and you can add more years to your life with the plant-based diet. Also, the animal rights. Think about how we can save our planet, protect the environment. Plant-based diets are more environment friendly for us.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that we've all heard through the years is that you'd like color. Color in your food means it's going to be helping you. Can you tell us a little bit about how do we use? I mean, I know an apple can be a beautiful red, a carrot can be anything from orange to purple. I might have yellow squash, green squash. What about these colors really mean something to us from a health perspective?
Eric, I would say this is my favorite topic. Color means protection. The 100,000 of the phytochemical that you can find in fruits and vegetables, that it has been proved and shown with the study that it protects our cardiovascular disease. It has an impact on the diabetes and other diseases. These phytochemicals, you can find it in many fruits and vegetables. So the good news is the G-bombs. If you're gonna use the greens, like a kale, a spinach, add it to your diet, and beans and onions and mushroom and different type of berries and seeds, you are good to go.
All those things sound so delicious, so good. I mean, berries in particular, particularly here in the summer now, we've got our blueberries, our strawberries. Apples are a year-round favorite. Can you talk about some of the particular health benefits of those favorites? Because they also work into so many different types of recipes.
Absolutely. So there was a study about the berries, because in the berries, you can find anthocyanin. So the National Cancer Society, they have done a study in 120 middle-aged people that they were having the hard time with the elevated blood lipids. And then they were giving them 160 milligrams of the anthocyanin that you can find it in blueberries, blackberries, strawberry supplements for the 12 weeks. And then they had the placebo group. So what was the result? The result was after 12 weeks, the bad cholesterol went down. It means the LDL for 14%, and the HDL went up for the 14%, the good cholesterol. And all that in conclusion, the cholesterol removed from the cell and increased about the 20% of the health. How that sounds to you?
Listen, again, if I can eat delicious food and get healthier, that's what I think everybody's goal is. You know, we talked about, again, the apples. I'll eat apples every day.
Just eat that apple a day and keep the doctor away, right? So apple contains a powerful antioxidant that inhibits the tumor growth, decrease the lipid oxidation and lower the cholesterol. My recommendation is just wash the apple properly and just eat the whole apple with the skin, because all the fiber, nutrients, vitamin and mineral is in the whole food. We cannot, just make a juice, because we are going to take a fiber out. Or if we're going to take the skin, we're going to lose some nutrients.
So I feel that the folks behind the Apple lobby clearly had a great campaign. I mean, apple a day keeps the doctor away. Everybody knows that. But now, strawberries, they have great health benefits. And then beyond that, even, can we talk a little bit about garlic? Garlic, they need a good PR team to kind of get a rhyming thing out there. People need garlic, spinach, cucumbers, these kind of foods as well.
Those are all great. And I call them the natural blood thinner. The strawberries, the turmeric, the garlic, they all have the phytochemical that inhibit the LDL cholesterol oxidation and cleans our arteries. So those are improving the vascular, endothelium function, and they're anticoagulants. So if you are taking all these medications, for our heart or the blood thinner, those are all natural sources that if you add it to your daily diet, you are all set to have a heart healthy diet.
So one of the questions that seems to always be out there is you'll say, I need a serving. For example, an avocado. What's a serving of an avocado? And then beyond that, what is the serving of fruits and vegetables that we need each day? And is it different for men, for women? Does it go by age? How does that work?
That's true. The serving is very important. So the Nutrition Academy and Dietetic Association has a recommendation for the avocado, for example, is a very heart healthy fat, but also has a high calorie. So how about a half a slice of the avocado, the whole avocado, we slice it up and chop it on the top of our salad. And the avocado has many good health benefits. And the study have shown that it's like fight with the cancer. It's an anti-cancer fruit. So I cannot tell you enough that if you are taking more fruits and vegetables, that was the study from American Society Institute, that you're going to decrease the risk of the breast cancer to the 50% by taking 4 to 5 servings of the fruits and vegetables, mostly veggies, and make a colorful dishes, the rainbow colored diet. It all helps you to protect your body and your soul.
So all these ideas, we're talking about the health benefits, the deliciousness of it, all these vegetables we can be eating more, whether you're eating radishes, carrots, bell peppers. How do I start to make the transition? I think anybody who's been listening tonight, they're watching, they're saying, listen, I'm ready, but how do I start? Because again, it's a life change. Yes,
that's a great question. The step to transition is very easy. How about we just start slowly and small changes? The plant-based days of the week. Let's try it, get some recipe. Let's do our own research. You don't need to just, do it overnight. It doesn't mean that if you are in plant-based diet, you cannot have a meat or any chicken or animal sources. You can choose the proportionally of the plant-based diet, by adding more fruits and vegetables to your daily diet. Just, be clear why you want to do this transition and focus on the progress, not the perfection.
That's exactly right. It is a marathon, not a sprint. We will all get there if we just sort of take that first step.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people, Farnaz, actually have been sending in questions throughout our talk so far. So if you'd like, we can answer some of them right now.
Yes, now's the question time. Absolutely.
So one of our first questions is, at 50 plus, and this goes to the topic we were just talking about, can I still change my diet to vegetarian or more plant-based? And is that safe?
Absolutely, never is late. By adding more fruits and vegetables to your diet, you are investing on your health. And this is a great step. And I would say that's a lifestyle. It's a new lifestyle to your diet. You can change it, and then you will see the result after a month or weeks. You feel lighter, you feel more energy because you are taking the fruits and vegetables that is good for your body. There is no chemical, there is no preservative, and it's just unprocessed. It's a wholesome food.
Another one of our viewers is asking, are there any fruits, vegetables that are particularly good to help lower HDL cholesterol?
Yes, as we talk, for the heart healthy, the berries are number one: strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, because they have the high amount of the antioxidants, and they are clean the arteries, all these waxy cholesterol and lipid in our arteries. So I would recommend the 5 servings of the veggies and then the 4 servings of the fruit per day.
Now, as far as cooking, and we're going to see a great cooking segment coming up in a few minutes, they're asking, what is a more healthful way and a way to get more nutrients? Raw, steamed, or cooked? What are the differences there?
It all depends what is your body. I don't know the history of the person that asked this question. If you have the GI problem, the digestion of the fruits and veggies is hard for you, so I would recommend go for the steam, because raw, it takes more time to digest. So it's better to always start slowly and take the smallest steps. So the steam, it's a great suggestion that you can have that, or just some lightly stir fry with the heart healthy fat like avocado oil or olive oil, and less processed food.
And one final question here before we go on to our cooking segment, and this will go again to everybody as they're preparing at home to cook. Can you actually have too many fruits or vegetables in your diet?
Absolutely. You can have, if you don't have any particular disease such as type 2 diabetes, if you are not concerned about your blood sugar, you can have as much as you want. But my recommendation is just eat the whole fruit, not juices, not the, take a skin off. Just have, some handful of the berries or an apple or, oranges. But there is no limitation if there is no health concern.
Outstanding. Farnaz, thank you so much for your insights. I am ready. Once the show's over tonight, I'm going to get a big old plate, bowl of berries, plate of vegetables, and I'm going to dive in. But before we do that, we're going to say thank you to you, and we're going to introduce Cooking with the Stars. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Are you ready to get in the kitchen, everybody? Here she comes, our favorite chef, producer, star of the vegetarian, star of the vegan, star of the everything plant-based food for the evening, Chef Paula. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of tonight. Thank you, Bernard and AARP Long Island. Thank you, Ricotta Communications and the Herald. It has been amazing planning for tonight. And I was born ready, guys, to be able to give you some of the things I've loved my entire life, and to share that with you means the world.
So what do you have in store for us this evening?
So in planning for tonight, not knowing who was part of our audience, were you guys vegan? Were you guys vegetarian? Were you somebody who wanted to, put your little finger or your toe, dip your toe in a little bit? So we're going to do 2 things. The first one is our plant-based cranberry apple quinoa salad. And I've been making this for, I would say, about 10 years. And what makes it special is all of the textures. So I'm going to show you, we have a second camera, as you guys can see. I have one part of the Zoom box of Chef Paula, but now we're able to show you some of the key ingredients. Now in my bowl, we have quinoa that has been boiled and cooled. So we've got 1 cup of quinoa, which about triples in size when you actually end up having it be all nice and puffed up. Now quinoa as a whole is an ancient seed. People call it a grain, but it's a seed. so high in fiber, so high in protein. It really is a superfood. But to be honest, and chef like me, I'm a foodie, I've got to be honest, it doesn't have a lot of taste on its own. That's okay, but we can actually make it work by adding things to it. So I have a Gala apple. My Gala apple is an organic apple. I have some organic scallions. I also have some lemon, which we're going to be using to make sure that my apple doesn't get brown on me, so it doesn't oxidize. We also have some crunchiness. If you guys can allow for some nuts, I love nuts. They're also a healthy fat. So I have some roasted pecans, no salt. I also have some dried cranberries. That gives a little bit of sweet sour, which I love. And celery, guys. Again, a super, super wonderful vegetable. Again, high in vitamins A and K and C, low sodium, which I love, and it gives crunch, and that's, to me, textural. We also are going to make a dressing, which ties it all together. The dressing is made up of some red wine vinegar, some honey, your version of oil that you feel comfortable being able to use, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I didn't need my basil mic, and a little bit of basil to kind of just round it out. So I'm going to share with you guys how to put this together. And I also want to show you at the end how to plate it, because the reality is we need to make our food look good and taste good too.
You know, as you were talking about some of the ingredients there, Paula, and you mentioned that some of them were organic, how important and what is the value as a chef to choosing organic?
Excellent, excellent question. And if there's any takeaway tonight, that's the area I want to hit upon, Eric. So there's a list that gets compiled every single year. It's the Dirty Dozen. Have you guys heard the term Dirty Dozen?
We don't talk about Dirty Dozen a lot in the kitchen.
So there's the Dirty Dozen on the one hand, and there's the Clean 15 on the other. Now, when you have the Dirty Dozen, that includes strawberries, which we're going to do in our second recipe, spinach, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, nectarines are on the list this year. Apples are on the list, grapes are on the list, cherries are on the list, pears, peaches, all the things I love. Bell peppers made it this year, much to my chagrin, celery and tomatoes. So if those are ingredients you are going to use in your recipes, to the best of your ability, to the best of your pocketbook, try to get them organically. And the reason is, guys, that what makes it a Dirty Dozen list is that these particular fruits and vegetables have pesticides in them. Even if it's residual a little residue here and there, think about if I eat so many fruits and vegetables every day, it kind of compounds it. So when you can eat organically for these particular 12, the best of your ability, if you can't do it one week and you can do it the other week, it's still going to make a difference. Now the Clean 15, that includes avocados, heart healthy, and sweet corn, and pineapples, papaya, onions, asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, kiwi, mushrooms, honeydew, and cantaloupe. I think I have all 15. So again, they may have a little bit of the residue on it, but not enough to be problematic. So when you can go organic, guys, do it. You may have a level of perishability that can go in either direction. Sometimes my more perishable items are my organic ones because clearly there's not things preserving it the way that the ones with pesticides have. So excellent question.
And that will help preserve us, the lack of preservatives.
Absolutely,
so,
better than
formaldehyde.
formaldehyde.
Yeah, you're taking. But please, let's see some more action there with everything in the kitchen.
Now, I want to also give you a really good little chef tip. If you ever need to quickly cool quinoa that has, I mean, this is, again, it's not 3 or so of my cups of quinoa. When you have it, most recipes will say, put it right in the fridge. Honestly, big mistake. Put it on a flat baking sheet, 1 layer thin. Spread it out. Then refrigerate or freeze it because you're able to have a lot more surface area, get it cool. 1 big bowl of a lot of mass of quinoa will take a long time to cool. This way, 1 long layer and you're good. All right, guys, so we have our quinoa. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to see my scallions to be cut. We are looking for, at this point, 1 cup of quinoa, and the scallions is about 1/4 of a cup. Now I want to share with you, since I've already done most of them, I'm looking for small pieces because the last thing I want to do is have any of my guests in a situation where they're eating something they're just not comfortable with. So having some small pieces of scallions will work. I use the white, I use the green, and yes, these are organic. So again, this is basically it. I have my little bench scraper helping me to be able to get it in, and we're going to pop it right into our bowl.
When I'm looking at a recipe, Paula, is a scallion the same thing as a green onion?
Yes, you can call it a green onion, you can call it a spring onion. Yes. What it isn't, it's not a leek, because leeks kind of look like this, but in a much larger form. And leeks as a whole, I love them, but they're very sandy. So when you, there's a whole art to being able to get a leek made nice and clean. So that could be another class. Anyway, so scallions are done. Yeah, so I'm done. So guys, we have that. Now the apple, we definitely want to be able to have the apple cut. Now for time purposes, to be able to make things go some more quickly, we're going to have our apple cut actually with a Vidalia quick chop. No, I'm not a paid endorser for it, but I got to tell you, it makes very quick measures. So my husband, Michael, and my sous chef is going to do that for us. Now the apples are going to be juiced with a lemon on top. But the apple itself has an opportunity to stay as non-brown as possible. Now, again, I have an organic lemon here, guys. And all I usually need to do, get this half a lemon, is all I need. Perfect.
Now, when an apple starts to brown, as you're preparing it, you leave it out. That doesn't have any impact on the taste, does it?
No, it technically is oxidizing. The taste is perfect. It's so funny that you said that, because I went to a really beautiful charity event in which one of the local restaurants gave a big, beautiful display of, I guess it was guacamole. The problem was it was beautiful on hour 1. Hour 2, brown and muddy. So tastes good, looks bad, and people wouldn't touch it. All right, so my lemon has been, yep.
And that's a tip for everybody out there who wants a little extra guacamole. If it's starting to turn brown and people are walking away from it, then it's all yours.
So I have my lemon juice in my little base here. Now these gala apples do not need to be in any way other than washed, guys. The skin, as Farnaz says, is where the nutrition really lives. It's an important part. If I was not able to get an organic apple, to be honest, I would peel it. The fact that I went organically, I get to eat the whole thing. And it's such a beautiful pop of color. So the apples are done. I want to show you the celery. Yeah. So let's get a quick, that in there. And I can't wait until you guys can make this yourselves, because you will see texturally and flavor-wise how amazing it is. Let's work with our basil, everybody. Sure. So celery is going to be the same situation. Vidalia quick chop, the size will be the same. So my goal is to be able to have every bite be similar. So I have my basil.
And watching
now, when you
chef, are these tools something that every home chef should have? Is there a particular knife or gadget that you recommend to make it all look as good as you have?
I would say this. We started using the quick chop when I was teaching in 14 after school programs. And certainly I would not trust children, with a chef knife. That was a no-no. But this was an opportunity for them to be able to have it, like a 1/4 of an apple, and just press down on the lid, and voila, it's done. It's perfect. But for adults, I would, thank you, Mike, it's beautiful. Yeah, so I think what was important for other chefs to be able to do is to be able to have certain keys, which I always keep in my caddy here. And that includes my handy dandy garlic mincer. Gotta have that. Garlic mincer makes short work of being able to have your garlic, chopped. Sometimes people will say, oh, I hate garlic, but that's when they see it and they taste it with these big chunks. But if someone is garlic adverse, make sure you mince it. and then it'll be flavorful and delicious, but they really won't be, like, what's that? They won't really feel the texture. Another thing which I love, love, love is where is my grater? My grater? Go ahead. So for the lemon zest, guys, another helpful tip. Martha Stewart taught me this many years ago when I used to work on the Today Show. This is called a microplane. And if you ever want to be able to get your lemon, your lime, if you want to be able to have anything grated, it's fantastic. And it really is a wood rasp. It was made for culinary reasons, but the original origin of it is a wood rasp. It's called Microplane, and it's really wonderful. So that, yeah, absolutely. So guys, the lemon that we did in advance earlier is going to be recipe number 2, which we haven't discussed yet. All right, guys, so apple's done, celery is done. I need to get some of my basil done next. And I'm gonna do a technique called a chiffonade. So what you do is you take 5, 6, 7 of your biggest leaves, and you do a little roll it up. Not much. I just need about a tablespoon. So guys, here's what you're gonna do. I'm going to make little cuts. So I make it look like a little cigar. And this is making what I would call basil confetti. I only need about a tablespoon's worth. And you'll see how pretty it looks. And then when you open it up, you've got confetti. And I'll take my bench scraper, another important tool. I love these guys. Bench scraper. All right, so basil's done, everybody. I'm gonna put my craisins in. That's always delicious. And you're looking for about a 1/2 cup of craisins, about a 1/2 cup of nuts. But guys, I would do this. If you know you have people coming to the house and you're not sure their status of a nut allergy, be smart. Don't put the nuts in. What you might consider doing is have a separate bowl. And then when people get their quinoa salad in their bowl, they can put it on, sprinkle it on if they choose to. But I don't want to make a choice for someone and have them not be able to eat it for one simple ingredient. So that's done. Guys, I want to start working on my dressing. Thank you. So it can be done in your small measuring cup. I'm going to start out, guys, with my red wine vinegar. And I'm going to be doing, at this point, 2½ tablespoons. Okay.
So with something like vinegar, Chef, is that also a place to go organic?
Certainly, if you're dealing with grapes, yes. I can see that this is organic, but the answer is yes. So yes. Excellent. Your questions are terrific. I'm hoping I'm giving you good answers. Now,
Well, this is because I don't have you here at home all the time, you know, and you're in the office. So
I am
gotta
a text away. I am a FaceTime away. Are you kidding me? You no longer have that excuse. All right. So red wine vinegar is my vinegar of choice. Now, we want to have something that would make it certainly a more viscous kind of situation. So I want some oil. Now, olive oil, which really is my heart-healthy favorite friend, is a little too intense for this. So I am using canola. Don't yell at me, Farnaz, but I'm using canola oil. We're looking for about 2½ tablespoons again. So it's the same proportion of oil to vinegar. Again, you can use another kind of oil, but make one that certainly make the choice. If it is something that is more colorless, a little bit more flavorless, you know, I don't want the olive oil taking over. And that's something that can, with a good olive oil. Now, I have a technique for honey that whenever I want to get my honey dispensed from my spoon, I do it right after my oil. And why would that be, do you think?
I'm going to guess, going back to some sort of science class that I can't remember exactly what it was, does it have to do with that will help it come out of the spoon because honey will stick in there? And there,
all right, watch it, guys. Look at this. Gone. That little film is all you need. 2 tablespoons and bam. That's the thing. The first one definitely comes off easy. The second one already had honey lining it, but you got the point. Clean hands, we're good. All right, so you've got some honey. I also want to be able to have a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, growing up in Brooklyn, both of my parents had salt issues, hypertension issues. also diabetic. So certainly I always felt as though having a little bit of salt or none was the way to go. So I want to be able to have a little bit of salt, guys. I'm looking for, in this case, just half a teaspoon at best. And don't forget, this is going into 3 of our cups of quinoa. Black pepper is going to be also half a teaspoon. And we're almost done, guys.
So when you're adding salt, chef, that doesn't just necessarily make it salty, but it actually helps enhance the flavors of all the foods around it, right?
Exactly. Listen, I bake, and the reality is if you use a little bit of salt, it will enhance the flavors of fruit. That is the truth. It will enhance your baked goods. But again, you don't want to do it in a way, that's going to be too much. So guys, all I want to just do is mix, get that honey and the vinegar and the oil, the salt, the pepper. All right, going in. Now, do you see this beautifulness? Look how colorful this is. Gorgeous. Michael's going to mix for me. Now, like anything else, if you have some time to let it meld, it will be that much more flavorful. But I also want to say to you, if you guys are poolside or you're going to be having some picnics, you might consider plating these in these adorable little plastic shot glasses. So I'm going to show this to you, and I'll show you how we can plate it up. And you can have some, you can have some beautiful shot glasses all lined up. That one out there. Take that out, take the basil out.
And now it's a party.
Exactly. Party in your mouth, a party in your house. Exactly. So you can do it that way, guys. You can also put them in, big bowls. I've done them in tumblers. It's just wonderful. And let me tell you, the fact that it's cranberry apple quinoa, for people who aren't quinoa loving kind of people, it's a game changer. The fruits, the nuts, the celery, the basil, the apple, it all makes it taste divine. So that, my friends, is cranberry apple quinoa salad. How do we do?
That's fantastic. I'm ready to go poolside.
Is your mouth watering yet? Bernard says yes.
Bernard's ready.
I love it. I love it. All right, guys. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the next recipe. Now, the next recipe is not necessarily vegan yet, but with a couple of little tweaks, it can be. So we know it's strawberry season. This summer has had amazing, amazing strawberries. I am a big berry lover. To me, blueberries are a superfood. I always eat my blueberries. My strawberries I eat. But again, because I know enough to know that strawberries are on that Dirty Dozen list, and I have never known a year when they weren't on the Dirty Dozen list. So the next recipe does have organic strawberries. And I want to tell you the name of this. And I know I was just teasing Eric the other day. So we as Americans know of something that Italians call bruschetta. Italian Americans. It really is bruschetta. So bruschetta is typically, classically, tomatoes and basil and garlic and olive oil, salt and pepper, usually over a crostini, a piece of bread that's nice and grilled. So we're going to make a fruity version. We're going to make strawberry ricotta bruschetta. So we're using the strawberries, guys, as our layer. Yep, I'm going to show you how. I have a second board here, so I'll just switch off my savory to my sweet.
Every time you say bruschetta, chef, I'm thinking I'm just going to have to record it and make it my ringtone.
Bruschetta. So my strawberries are going to be cut nice and small. We're going to do a technique called macerating, not Macias, but macerating. And what we want to do is make them small enough that they're going to be almost like a little compote going on top of my bread. So let me just get a couple more cuts. So we do want 3 cups of our beautiful fruit. Okay. You'll finish the strawberries. All right, so guys, 3 cups of strawberries. Now, the way the bruschetta is designed, I'm a Brooklyn girl, and I have to get a baguette that says it's from Brooklyn. It's the Brooklyn Bakery, New York Brooklyn bread. And so we want to be able to cut the bread, guys. This is going to be the base for the bruschetta. So any kind of crusty bread, you're going to put it on a grill. You can grill it out. You can grill it in your kitchen. You can put it on a grill outside. You can put it in your toaster oven. But you want to have bread that's about ½ an inch thick. That will be the actual base for us to do the bruschetta. So Michael is going to cut me some pieces on the end. ½ an inch or so. We want to thin out. People will say not cut out to have another layer. So the strawberries, once they're finished, we want to be able to get my bowl. So the strawberries are going to macerate with some honey and some mint. Beautiful, thank you. So Michael did my sous chefing. So normally, guys, macerating would mean taking a fruit and adding some sugar to it. Yeah, adding some sugar to it. And what happens is you end up having the sugars help the fruit to break down. So I'm going to use some honey. Let me have some honey. So I'm going to have, in this case, guys, 3 tablespoons of honey.
Now, if we wanted to make this a bit vegan, is there something we can replace honey with?
Yes. So the answer is you can use agave. You can use molasses. You can use maple syrup. Any one of those 3 will do it. This is the only part of the fruit part that would be an issue for anyone that's a vegan. But certainly, I think having agave would be a wonderful swap out. Thank you. So guys, all I want to do right now is mix my berries with my honey. Now, the amount of mint is 3 tablespoons. I got to tell you, if you've ever had iced tea with a piece of fruit and some mint in it, oh my God. But having these are so beautiful, guys. You can just take these strawberries and put it over. If you want to do it with coconut ice cream would be awesome, like a coconut milk ice cream. Super good. And I want you to see that right now there's not a huge amount of liquid drying out, but there will be. So we'll keep an eye on that guy. Perfect. So maceration has now begun. Next thing, guys, we want to make a ricotta layer. Now, if you are plant-based, Kite Hill makes the most wonderful ricotta that is definitely meant for a vegan. There are ricottas that are made with nuts as their base. So certainly there's no reason why you can't take this recipe and make it your own. So this is meant for vegetarians, but it can be made for vegans as well. Perfect. Okay. Now, guys, the ricotta, this ricotta? Ricotta's in the fridge, so I didn't want to take it out too early. Ricotta. So guys, the ricotta is going to come up next. Now, when you are looking for ricotta, some of the things I thought about were fat. You can do part skim. You can do whole milk. I went with the part skim. I also was conscious of the ones that would be low sodium. The house brand of Stop and Shop had both low sodium and part skim. The store brand, that was store brand. The Polio or some of the brands you might know, their sodium was definitely higher and their fat was higher. So again, a little thing to think about. So our next layer, guys, is going to be our, thank you. So I want to be able to put in for this one, guys, ½ a cup.
And does the amount of fat or sodium when you are buying the ricotta, does that have any impact on cooking time or prep time or anything like that?
I would say prep time, cook time, no. It's going to be textural. To be honest, it's going to be a little bit drier than if I had a whole milk version. But that's okay. I'm willing to give up that because I know the moisture is really going to come from my strawberries. So I'm totally on point with having a part skim ricotta. Okay, beautiful. Now I want to put in, guys, some of my lemon zest. I have 1½ teaspoons, or tablespoons rather, of lemon zest. A quick picture. Now this is going to really amp up that ricotta. Again, ricotta tastes good, but now it's going to taste great. Now, Yeah, sure. There's another part, guys, in which we want to add a little bit of preserves to our ricotta mixture. Now, again, looking at the stores, I happen to love, since my dad had taught me, Bon Maman is one of the preserves I use. This one is so exciting to me because this one is 39% less in sugar than traditionally, and there's no sugar in there. So yes, is there fruit juice? Yes, there is, but there's no high corn syrup. There's no sugar in here. It's fruit juice and pectin. Yes, awesome. So this one is called Intense Strawberry. Go ahead, muscles, open it up. I need 2 tablespoons. Beautiful. And it's going to give our ricotta mixture with the zest and the strawberries deliciousness. Sorry, I don't have smell-o-vision for you guys to smell lemon and mint and strawberries. One day we'll have that.
Yeah, that'll have to be in, sort of the next iteration. Webinars 3.0 will have to have smell-o-vision, taste-o-vision for you.
I love it. Give me a little bit more jam, just a little more. I just want a little hint more. I could see, I want to have a little bit more PC jam in there. Yes. All right, guys. Now what we are going to do is we have our bread sliced on the about a ½ inch. We're going to toast up the bread, and you have choices again. Could you use olive oil? Yes. Could you use avocado oil? Yes. Could you use melted butter? Yes. Use what you want. That will give this bread, it soaks into the bread and it just makes it incredible. So we have layer 1. And if you look, guys, we're starting to see some of the liquid. You're able to see, hey, make a one. If you can see into my bowl, guys, before it was fairly dry. So we are starting to see some maceration, which is exciting. So Michael's just going to, paint on a little bit of oil, butter, however you choose to do it. Right. So again, melted butter certainly is going to taste the most divine. But for plant-based, I have no problem having you use an oil that you feel comfortable with. If you want to be able to even use like an earth balance, works out really well. So any one of those is terrific. Now this dish is plated, guys, on a pretty platter. We're going to have the bread. We're going to have the ricotta mixture, the strawberry bruschetta on top, and that will be glorious.
You want to work on it here so you don't make a mess?
No, over here is good. Okay. So I'm going to make a little assembly line, everybody. As Michael brings me the bread, I'll be able to get the ricotta on it, the strawberry bruschetta. Spread it out, spread it out. There you go. Beautiful. Thank y'all.
Should the bread be warm or cool? Is there amount of time you can wait?
It's warm.
Oh,
You
that
want warm bread. You want warm bread on a pretty serving platter. And again, the couple of little things that we're doing to make them pretty, I thought about it, what color platter should I have? What size platter? What size pieces of bread should we shoot for? All these things were really thought about very carefully. And I think if I was a guest coming to someone's pool party or their home and I saw that, I would take a total dive into that. Hey, how you doing? I just want to eat. It's good stuff.
Well, presentation and the way that food, is brought out and given to the diner to be, that's an important part of the whole experience, isn't it?
Yes, Eric, we teach our students that we eat with our eyes. Now, for our very little students, they don't really eat, we eat with our eyes. But the answer is yes, we eat, if it's visually appealing, we're going to want to eat it. Now, my background, which I didn't really get to talk about earlier, is I was working in television prior to becoming a chef. I used to work for the Today Show and nightly news. And I was very fortunate to be doing a lot of behind the scenes for Martha Stewart and Paul Prudhomme and these amazing, amazing chefs. Little did I realize that down the road, I too would become a chef. But I did it for a different reason. I did it to honor my father, who I had lost. He was such a big influence on me food-wise. And so I said, if I can honor him in such a way that every single time I do a specific act, it connects me back to my father, what would that be? And literally he was such a big foodie. I'm like, you know what, if I become a chef, every time I have a successful cooking experience with my students, that is me connecting to my dad. So we started Cooking with Stars with that premise. And all I can say is we are so excited to share these kinds of dishes and the experience virtually. I've been doing this now 17 years, and the last year virtually has made something so sacred about being able to carve out the time with my students every single week. On a Monday, we visit the world together. Every Sunday morning at 10, we do brunch. Last week, as Eric knows, we celebrated Julia Child's birthday. So in every manner, way, shape, and form, we're connecting people through food in a healthy manner. And it's exciting, guys, to be able to bring my love to you.
That looks absolutely fabulous. And to your point, this is the kind of information and skills that people can bring to the kitchen, start cooking with their own kids, going to what Bernard said at the very start of the webinar. All of this, it is never too early to start. And when you start building a foundation, building the skill, and then building these connections, generations upon generations will be making this bruschetta and talking about how important it was and connecting with the person who they made it with generations earlier. And Healthful, bringing that message through generations as well.
Let me tell you, I have a range of students that come to our classes weekly, but the range goes from 6 to 86. And I have seniors who are from California and Florida and Texas. Their husbands are so excited because they're cooking. Their wives are cooking again. They haven't cooked in decades, but now it's like, oh my God, they're looking at these women with such love, even more than usual.
And that's what it's all about. When I make this, my wife's going to look at me with love too. I mean, this is about spreading and sharing the love.
Exactly.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So we have
Paula.
Yeah.
I'll say this: it actually took a pandemic for my wife to start cooking, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I love it. And tell her, no way, no how are you going to be able to get out of it now that I know you're good at it.
Yeah.
So there's actually a question Michael was telling me. Do you guys want to see?
Several of the guests online have asked about the quantity of ingredients. How are they going to find out about the quantity of ingredients?
Okay. So everybody who is on today's webinar will be getting emails from the Herald that will include our 2 recipes. I want you guys to have it totally. So you guys got to see me do it as quickly as I could, but you will certainly be able to do it in your own kitchens, and that will be a follow-up email. So look out for it maybe tomorrow or so.
How can they join you in class?
So.
And how can they join you in a class, Chef Paula?
And one thing which is very exciting, which I'm very, very happy to be able to say, is that everyone who is joining us today will be getting 1 free virtual class. All the information will be in that same email, and we would love to have you with Cooking with Stars, guys. So there's a coupon code. I'm going to have them reveal it once it's sent, but just know it's coming. And we want to be able to have at least one more time with you guys, if not more.
Exactly. Yes. So everybody look out for that follow-up email that will come to all our attendees. It's a great, great opportunity to do this with Chef, to learn those skills, to see how to do it. We have time, I think, for a few questions, because as we were cooking along and doing that, folks were sending questions in. One of them, it's funny. So Chef Paul and I are members of the Julia Child Appreciation Society. And one of the questions is, Julia famously talked about butter being so important. How can that taste and what butter brings to cooking be incorporated in a plant-based and healthier dietary approach, particularly for home chefs?
What I would say is, I mentioned earth balance earlier. Now, earth balance is something that you can certainly have that is plant-based. There's one that doesn't have soy in it, if that would be more appropriate. And I have to say that it has a really good taste. So many times when I'm cooking, I will use some olive oil, and I'm not going to lie, Farnaz, a little bit of butter. But reality is, I could swap the butter out and put some earth balance in and get that silkiness, which I'm looking for. You know, butter and oil aren't the same. Butter does mean flavor. So if you can't do the butter, then I would say do an earth balance type product. You know, my father, as a diabetic, always taught me about moderation. he would say, he can look at a big piece of chocolate cake and he would say, you know what? I know I can't eat the whole thing, but what about 1 spoon's worth? 1 spoon's worth will make me feel satiated. It will make me feel connected. Everyone's eating. So I bet like that, if you can put a little bit of butter in, if that's appropriate for you, terrific. If not, earth balance.
Excellent. Another one of our viewers is asking, you as a chef clearly know where to get the best ingredients, particularly organic foods and produce. Where do you recommend home chefs go to get the same quality so they can cook like you?
So if you are on Long Island right now and you have an opportunity this summer to go to any of the organic farms, make it a weekend little jaunt. Go and see the range of fruits and vegetables. There was some, on the East End, guys, there were some amazing organic farms. And if you have children, how special, or grandchildren, how special would it be to have them understand about organic, farming and having that? So I think that would be my thing. Go to a farm stand and go and get them to have organic food. I will tell you, Trader Joe, and again, I'm not a paid spokesperson, but I use them a lot, and they have some very decent organics. Costco has some beautiful organics, and some of your local supermarkets as well. I would not, certainly take that out of the mix. I think supermarkets have gotten much more sophisticated. I lost Fairway, and I'm sure you guys did too. Fairway was my go-to for everything organic. But again, there are still options for you, and it's worth the extra money, and it's worth the extra effort.
Absolutely, and particularly, as you said, here on Long Island, the bounty that is at our fingertips and building that relationship to where our food comes from, that just from a young age particularly builds that great appreciation for what we're eating, and how lucky we are to live here and be able to have that all on our doorstep, right?
Amazing. We actually, for years, we did an event called Fun on the Farm Day, in which we would head out to Wickham's Fruit Farm in Cutchogue, and I set up a whole area where the kids would pick blueberries, bring their blueberries back for them to take home, and I bought more blueberries, and we made blueberry jam on the spot. We made blueberry desserts. We took a hayride, and then we went to a goat farm, and we learned about goats and goat milk and goat cheese. So for all people who were able to have goat milk and goat cheese, it was quite good.
Oh, that is good. And then one final question here: what types of cookbooks or resources for recipes would you recommend to really get the most out of plant-based cooking?
So I would say this. I have been studying now, especially for this particular 17-month series, everything ethnically. So I think what I would do is figure out your tolerance to spice, figure out what kinds of flavors and things you really like. So more than just the cookbook, I want them to figure out how they could make vegetarian food exciting. And I think for me, having a pantry full of the most amazing spices and most amazing condiments, we've been making during my classes Korean food, Chinese food, Japanese food, Moroccan food, Indian food, all vegetarian. So please know that those dishes are just full of everything amazing. So that's the kind of thing that I would say, even go online, even do a Google search, top best vegetarian Indian food, and see what comes up and play with it. So I don't want to limit you to one book. I want to be able to have you expand yourself and think about what kinds of food would make me feel as though I'm full, I'm satiated, and have a wonderful flavor thing. Some people think that vegetarian food is boring, it's bland. That's not true. If you can spice it up with garlic and all the aromatics and herbs, and you can do fresh herbs and you can do turmeric, there's so much that you can do to be able to make a simple vegetable come alive.
And that's exactly right. And that's really what you've done for us here tonight. Show us how to take plant-based cooking and vegetables. Vegetarian cooking, it's not just the boring old grilled veggie plate that used to be on menus all the time. It's exciting, fun food like you've done. Chef Paula, thank you again so much. Farnaz, thank you. Bernard, are we hungry? Are we ready to go now? What?
I've been salivating for quite some time. I've been swallowing a lot of saliva. Great job. Chef Paula. I mean,
Thank you.
you amaze me. And the fact that, I mean, earlier in the program where you spoke about the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15, the fact that you were able to spew out all those names of fruits and vegetables means, you know, you really know your stuff. And Farnaz, I mean, your presentation was so informative. I'm a big foodie. I love to eat and to cook, and I love your presentation, Chef Paula. I'm thinking that on the bruschetta, you can make in the morning toast, right, and spread that ricotta toast.
That will be my tomorrow.
Right, that could be your tomorrow, right? And then on the quinoa, my question on the quinoa is, because I've made quinoa salads in the past. Is there a particular one that for this salad that you should look for? I mean, I know that there's darker versions, like there's a purple version, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
I've done it with tricolor, and to be honest, I didn't like it because look into my bowl, guys. There is a lot of beautiful contrasting colors. When you use the darker quinoa, it doesn't pop. Here, because it's like a beigey color, I'm able to have the pop of red, the pop of green. So I would say don't do tricolor and don't do the darker quinoa. Go for just the regular one, which looks more blonde.
What about price?
And the thing is, you know, price-wise, Trader Joe's quinoa, you know, I think price per pound is excellent. Costco also has a huge one, which is excellent. And I also always recommend rinsing your quinoa. There's a coating on the seed, guys, that really has a level of bitterness. You may not notice it, but you might notice it. So when you have the quinoa, rinse it in your sieve before you actually, you know, cook with it. So
good tips. Thank you both. Great
it was a
presentation.
pleasure.
I'm so hungry, and I believe quite a few people out there of our participants are as well. So I'm going to just do a quick wrap up. I just want to remind everybody again, thank you so much for joining us on our very first webinar on eating well. Just a reminder, this is a 3-part series. So please join us and register for next month on Wednesday, September 22nd at 6 p.m. We have our Wealth, which is a financial wellness program. You can register on liherald.com/wealth. And it's going to be a great informative seminar, a lot of tips and open dialogue on how to better prepare for your retirement. And again, it doesn't matter what age you are, you should be preparing for your retirement. Again, going back to what I said earlier, the younger you are, the more you need AARP. And then in October, we have our Self program, which is a special personal fulfillment program on how to best declutter your space while you declutter your mind. So consider it a cleansing. It's a time for you to cleanse your home and your personal life. And so you're going to be talking to experts on that. And that's on Wednesday, October 14th at 6 p.m. You can register on liherald.com/self. So again, if you're looking for another topic for maybe this year or next year, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop us an email at nyaarp@aarp.org. I'd love to hear from you. And again, just a reminder, please connect with us on AARP Long Island. You can visit us on our website, aarp.org/near-you, to learn more about exciting at-home activities and events like this, free classes, wellness. We have a number of upcoming events and a lot of virtual volunteer opportunities. So if you're looking to volunteer with us, we're looking for people just like you. And you can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/AARP Long Island. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
It's great. Thank you.
Again, thank you so much, Bernard, AARP. Thank you so much for being a part of this, for helping us get the word out about education, whether it is about your health, about your wealth. And the better prepared you are for retirement, the more time you're going to have to cook these delicious recipes. So make sure you tune in and join us again. Go to liherald.com to register. Farnaz, thank you again for making this night colorful, delicious, tasty. Chef Paula, I'm going to go join Bernard now. We're going to have to go cook up some great meals. Everybody, once again, from everyone here at Richner Live, thank you, and we'll see you again next time.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay safe and
Have a
happy.
good night.
Happy cooking. Yay. That was awesome.
Awesome job. Paula, I'm going to be texting you. I need those
Please.
gadgets.
I'm telling you, this quinoa, and no joke, I would go to a pool party. I'm left-handed guy.